Hey there! Today we will have a look at this pen. This is the Fountain Pen Revolution Statesman. And this one is special because it has a nib that is super duper flexible, made by the Flexible Nib Factory F&F. And so I will be showing that off. The pen was sent to me by Kevin of Fountain Pen Revolution. I really appreciate it. Very pretty finish. This is their Nebula finish. I really like it. It has a lot of chatoyance. Looks really cool to me. Also a nice size pen. So I'll cover the parts of the pen. I'll do a writing sample. Excuse me. And I'll tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Let's get started. Okay, let's talk about the Fountain Pen Revolution Statesman in the Nebula finish, which is quite attractive to me. Comes in this simple and unassuming box, which I love because you can flatten it and recycle it. No real unrecyclable waste, which is great. The pen, I'll put it next to Pilot Metropolitan. You see it's a similar length, maybe a little bit girthier. Let's talk about it. It's 105 Canadian, so that's not US, Canadian. There are 4 finishes. You can get a gold nib. Now the pen jumps up to 356 Canadian, but then you do have a gold nib. Nib options are extra fine, fine, medium. That's included in the price. Steel. Then you have a broad for an additional $4. There is a 1mm stub for $4. There is a I could not read my own handwriting. That was ironic. There's an Architect, also $4, and there is a Fine Flex for $4. Then there is an Extra Fine Ultra Flex for $14, and then there is this nib, which I'm about to show you, which is made with the Flexible Nib Factory, which has an ebonite feed for $49. So that does add quite a bit to the price of the pen, but then you basically get a custom-made nib. You can use the Ultraflex with a standard converter. So if you want to, you can. Let's just talk about the parts of the pen. Top of the pen, finial, same material as the rest of the cap, and I'll just try to spin this around a bit. The chatoyance is really quite impressive. It's very nice and shiny, and I really like it. Nebula, I think, is a really well-chosen name for this. We have a clip with a ball at the end. Very springy, works well. We have a center band. That center band is blank. And then we have the barrel tapers down. And then we have a little ring and it's just a end cap. That's not a blind cap or anything. I'm unscrewing the pen there, sorry, the cap there. We have a section that is a little bit reminiscent to me of the old Leonardo style section. So it's broader here and then it tapers down. It doesn't flare out again. And then we have another little metal ring there. And then here is that special Flexible Nib Factory nib with an ebonite feed. Let's see how that performs in just a little bit. I will show you the standard cartridge converter. So if you like cartridge converter fill pens, this is a good one, and it allows you to use a flex nib with just a standard converter. Unlike some of the other Fountain Pen Revolution pens, here I have the Ashoka, for example, which you can also get that with a flex nib, but that one has sort of a special large capacity converter. So that would not be standard international, is what I'm trying to get at, and what I said in the most roundabout fashion possible. Okay. So size of the pen, I think, is the size that works for a lot of people. It's not too big, not too small. If you want to, you can post it. You get a really nice size of pen out of it. And that material really is quite something. I really do like it. So, very cool. Let's see how the pen writes. I have not primed the feed. Let's see, just as I uncap it, what this does. I will zoom in a bit. We'll start with the boring stuff, and then we'll move on to what I know you want to see. So here we have the Fountain Pen Revolution Statesman, sorry. Statesman. This is that Flexible Nib Factory Fountain Pen Revolution Ultra Flex Nib. And the ink is Monteverde Chameleon. I'm using as little pressure as I can. That's why I was skipping a bit. So I'll try to do a little bit more for the writing. It's a very fine nib, and they've of course have done that on purpose to maximize the line variation you can get out of it. That does mean there's a little bit more feedback as you write with it unflexed. Do a bit of fast writing. I skipped the C there for some reason, but there we are. I'll skip there. Again, it's hard to do this with these flex nibs because it's almost impossible to not put any pressure on them because they're very, very soft. Okay, wetness, if you enjoy such a thing. Quite wet. Line variation. Now, naturally, round nib, so there isn't much, but that's not what you're here for. You're here to see the ultra flex. Let's try to do something starting a little slow, adding more and more pressure. I may have been a bit too fast. I'm really pushing it very hard here. It's meant to be an ultra flex, so let's see what we can do. And there we go with the railroading, but even then if I slow down, it's still functioning pretty well. So if flex writing is your thing, which for me it's not, I need to slow down a little bit more. You could get some really nice line variation out of it. You see, I went a little bit fast. I was kind of wondering what would happen. Let's try to do it the proper way, the very slow way. Again, flex writing is not my thing, so you can make fun of all the writing you like. I really don't care. I'm not very good at it. You get some serious line variation out of this. And if I blow on this, you can see that it's also a very, very wet, right? So there is that. Let's sort of stress test it with faster writing. So sorry, faster movement. You see it does railroad, but it also comes, like it bounces back quite quickly and you can write with it again. So I really quite like that. It is a cool flex nib, very, very wet. Reverse writing, I mean, who cares about that at this point? This is not what this nib is designed for, but you can take it from a really fine nib to an even finer nib. Yay! Okay, so I think what we should do, as I just push this a little bit farther, note how I push the feed into the paper there. Quite interesting choice. Just to entertain you a bit more. We should talk about some likes and dislikes. Let's do that now. What do I like? What do I not like about the Statesman? I think there's a lot to like. I think it's a really attractive material. Nice and dark. From a distance it almost looks black, but once you get close you see very interesting patterns, which I think is really cool. Various nib options, which is nice. Flex nibs are cool, but they're not for everyone. I'm one of those people. I'm not really a flex writer. I just don't have any flex appeal. I know that. It's good. It's okay. But if you do have a lot of flex appeal, you may really enjoy this. So it's a cool option. I like that they have their ultra flex option, but then also this special flex, like modified flex nib. Yes, it's an additional $49. Bear in mind they then really customize your nib, and you pay for that. If you send something to a nibmeister to be customized, you also pay for that, right? So I think it's fair. The flex works really well. I think it's a really nice size of pen, the kind of size that works well for a lot of people. So I think that's really thoughtfully designed. Dislikes, not really. At $105, this is Canadian, not US. It's not a super cheap pen. You know, with a steel nib, I think that's fair at that price. If you want to have this modified flex nib, it's more expensive still. So the price, some people might have issues with the price. I do think you get a very nice pen, and again, kind of a modified nib that will always add to the cost. So I don't have any issues with it, but let's be frank, I also didn't purchase it. it was sent to me for review, right? So I do see the point. It's not super cheap. I do think, especially with this special flex nib, you get quite a lot in ways of attractiveness, in ways of very special flex writing. But that's the decision you have to make. So there we are. A very kind thank you to Kevin for sending me the pen. I really appreciate it. I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later.